Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin with developing news about one of the largest ever Homeland Security investigations that includes a Minnesota business.
Federal authorities say special agents executed a series of criminal arrest warrants today in Minnesota and Nebraska involving illegal immigrants and their treatment. Jeremiah Jacobson's in our newsroom with more on those raids. Jeremiah?
Hi there, Randy and Julie. Authorities say those agents were looking for 17 people connected to an alleged criminal conspiracy to exploit illegal immigrant laborers for profit, as well as for fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Now, while executing those warrants, agents arrested 133 illegal workers as well. We know that some of those arrests did come here in Minnesota, but most were in Nebraska. We do have some video of one of the raids that happened in Nebraska. Authorities say they identified employees who were subject to arrest for immigration violations and were unlawfully working at the businesses involved in these searches. They say those people have been illegally working in the United States, but they may also have been exploited as part of this alleged criminal conspiracy. In addition to the laborers, agents issued arrest warrants for 17 people who they believe knowingly hired and mistreated those illegal immigrants. ICE identifies the Minnesota business involved here in these raids as Christensen Farms, which has facilities in Sleepy Eye and in Appleton. Both of those locations were raided, along with their site in Nebraska. Now, Christensen Farms issued a statement saying, in part, "Our entire team of employees is fully cooperating with the investigation, and we are aware of no wrongdoing at this time." Christensen Farms is headquartered in Sleepy Eye and on its website claims to be one of the largest family-owned pork producers in the United States. We're continuing to monitor this story. We'll bring you the latest coming up tonight at 10 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, Jeremiah.